Who was Saint Valentine's? What happened to him? How do we give the best Valentine's gifts? And what is the best Valentine's gift to give? This week, Every Day's a Bonus. Hey, well, welcome to Every Day's a Bonus. This is actually a pretty big milestone for us, episode 50. And we love that you've been here for part or all of it. If you haven't been here for all of it, go back and listen to other episodes. There's a lot of great material.
There's only 49.
Yeah, 49 other episodes. But 50 is representative of 50, the golden
anniversary.
Year and an anniversary. So in celebration of golden, you've got a gold ring on your hand.
I've got golden-esque pants.
You've got golden pants. I've got golden shoelaces.
Wow, and you're so bougie.
My gold on my finger, my actual gold ring, I think is shrinking. The gold must be very porous or something. So it's shrinking on my fatter hands. So I've got a rubber ring on right now of some sorts just to grow with me.
I just wore black because it went with black.
Oh, black heart, black ring.
Yes.
Black sweatshirt.
Something like that. But every week, if you want to know the origin of where did the title come from, that was episode 3.
Yes, it was.
Go back and listen to 3. That's back
I'm not on that episode, so suffer through it.
Back when the podcast was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. It's awesome. It's awesomer now. It's getting awesome.
5 awesome episodes without Logan.
In a trailer.
And speaking of awesome, it just so happens this is when falls during a holiday. Not a holiday. Is it a holiday?
This is a holiday. This is Valentine's Day. Somebody made it a holiday at some point in history. Saint Valentine. And I think there's a pagan roots in there mixed with
Was he
Catholic
a naked
roots?
baby that
Saint
shot
Valentine
arrows?
was not a dork in a diaper shooting arrows.
What?
He was gangster.
Really? He was a gangster, like with a gun.
No, gangster like awesome. He was awesome.
Okay. Okay. He was a priest, is that right or no?
He was a priest.
So he was a saint.
At the time, the Emperor of Rome had banned weddings.
Why is that?
Because he thought that single men made better soldiers.
Whoa. So he stopped no more marriage.
So
No
Valentine was arrested for performing secret underground Christian weddings.
Oh, really?
Whoa. And what happened to him? Is he still alive?
He is not alive.
Oh, man.
So the day that we celebrate with little cards and candygrams and little sweet somethings and romantic dates is the day he got executed.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Saint Valentine got executed because
on Valentine's Day. What are
February
the
14th.
odds of that?
There it is.
Should we have a moment of silence for him dying? I didn't realize all this is taking place.
Well, there's more. He was performing underground marriages for Christian couples.
Okay.
Very
cool. The story goes, which I believe it, he befriended the jailer's daughter who was blind and ended up praying for her, laying hands on her, and God used him to heal her of her blindness. He was brought before the emperor and boldly shared the gospel with the emperor.
No way.
And the emperor decided after hearing the gospel to execute him.
Wow. That is
quite
the story
of Saint Valentine.
That is a martyr.
Yeah, he's a martyr.
His name is Valentine. What was his first name?
I don't know. Saint Valentine.
Saint Valentine.
Saint Valentine.
And we celebrate by cards and slamming into restaurants and getting reservations and
flowers.
Eating food. Flowers.
Who it's actually about is way cooler.
That is cool.
I love going on dates.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
But what a cool guy who boldly lived out his faith. Was willing to defy an emperor for the sake of the gospel and even shared the gospel with that emperor.
And the sacred marriage covenant, like helping people cross that line into that. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you guys do to celebrate this type of
So what do you take
day?
away from this one?
Yeah. Be bold
with your faith and die.
Valentine's Day is about being bold with your faith.
That's kind of cool.
I
you
like
could
that.
Share that with more people. That's
Okay. So Valentine's, let's do this. So I've got an answer for this because I've written a couple books that were the base of this. What is love?
Ooh. Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
Love is a many splendid thing.
It's a
I knew
moment.
this. Love lives us somewhere we belong.
Okay, yeah. So there's all this,
and the
we
mountains
It's
high.
for the way you look
at me. Hey.
oh is the next letter in the word.
How do you spell that word? There was a movie came out years ago, and I think it was Moulin Rouge, and there's a soundtrack to it. And I want to say he does all the love songs in like a big medley of them.
Wow.
And I remember when we watched that movie, I remember listening to them all, and it was all the generations came together to make
that's
this
cool.
like cool song.
Nice.
But anyway,
Well, if you took it from songs, if you took it from society, because love actually, I mean, you can say, I love my dogs. I love
the feeling.
pizza. I love this. And it really is related in our society with love.
Yeah,
You go back to the original languages, there's God's love, there's relational love like phileo, which is Philadelphia.
Yeah, brotherly
There's
love.
Brotherly love, which
Agape.
the agape love, yeah.
so there's a lot of different types of love, but if you had to define, and that's one of the first things
Valentine's Day is about eros, though.
I do. Eros.
And babies.
A
with
romantic
diapers on
love.
it.
Yes.
And willing to die for that love. That's
Yes.
pretty cool.
Man, the book she wrote, I mean, love is big. Obviously, Valentine's
Right.
Day is one thing. Here it is, Valentine's Day. And then love, obviously, God showed us love by laying down his life for us, greatest kind of love. We can show our love for our partner by doing what Paul gave us great examples of love is patient and love is kind.
So one of the
Love
parts I
doesn't
do,
envy,
right?
There's
When
those
I
loves.
do a talk on love with singles,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, everybody wants to find love, and genuinely, I was a single guy in my late 20s, going, man, I want to be married. I want to
Yep.
experience. I
Sure.
had this desire, and what God really hit me with one day is because everybody, if you've been to a wedding, you've probably heard 1 Corinthians 13, 4
That's
through
right.
7. Love is.
Love is, yeah.
And I ask singles all the time, I'm like, okay, love, 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7. How many qualities of love are mentioned there? Do you have an idea? Do you know?
7.
14.
Both good guesses, but wrong. And
I gotta
7
say
is
it.
one of the most popular guesses. And I tell him, I say, isn't it interesting? I said, how many can you name? Everybody wants love, but we can't even name it. And we've
Wow.
heard it and we know where it is.
9.
And there's actually 15. Isn't that crazy?
I went-
15.
Closest.
Price
Without
is right.
going over.
I came right over.
That's how you get on the Price is
And
Right.
you can
Spin the
leave
wheel,
one
baby.
out. But
good.
then I also challenge them like, hey, instead of listening to society that's a feeling, it has something to do with sex, and why don't you look and say, this is the definition of love, and here's what I'm looking for. And I actually thought through that and prayed through that over time. Mine was a complete commitment to getting completely real and giving unconditionally. And I looked at all the different parts of scripture and what Jesus did and how he loved. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. But when we get to that point where we can define it, then how do we show it?
Yeah.
So I want to get real practical here. And we've all talked about, we love dating our wives.
Yep.
And I'm so blessed that Heather is not sentimental about if you don't buy me a dozen roses and we don't go out to the nicest restaurants and we don't do this on Valentine's. She's like, I don't like flowers. I don't want to spend 3 times as much for a menu that's 2 items. Let's just go the week before, or let's do it afterwards and not worry about that. But you guys were talking about some great ideas with Valentine's Day. And I want to hear some of the ideas that you've heard of and that you've done.
I mean, I can go first if you want me to.
Go first.
When we were chatting about Valentine's Day, there's something that we started, a tradition in our family. We got married, waited a number of years before we had kids, and probably celebrated Valentine's Day for those first few years the way you traditionally would. But then I realized something that my wife and I would go on dates all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
And the
not
nice
just
thing
Valentine's.
is, I love my wife, but to be honest, I really, really like my wife. Like, I like her. She's my best friend. I want to go do things with her. And we noticed that we did things together, not just on February the 14th. And so we would go on dates, Friday night dates, Tuesday dates. We would go on dates at random times just because we enjoyed being around each other. But when kids come into the picture, now we happen to live in a place for the majority of their life where we did not have family nearby.
Okay.
My family was in Texas. Kirsten's family was in Florida. So it was just us. So we could look for a babysitter, or we started doing something that became a tradition. We started taking our kids with us on our Valentine's date.
Okay.
Well, as they get
older,
older,
a family day
turned into a family affair. It turned into something that kids didn't look at and be like, it's Valentine's Day. Mom and dad are going to be gone. We'll probably have a babysitter at the house and all that. Instead, it was like, it's Valentine's Day. We're going to two of the things we did, ice skating, like ice capades kind of thing, Disney on Ice. But then it formed into the circus. The Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus would kind of come around that February 14th. And so on Valentine's, in that February time, but on Valentine's Day, we would take the whole family to the circus. And for years, that was just what we did as a family.
That is awesome.
That
February 14th.
is so cool.
Kids both know we're all going out together to go to the circus and watch it and experience it. And it just became something that wasn't, mom and dad are going to go out on their date. It was just like family hangs out. But we had to realize that our kids knew, but we go out on dates all the time. We love going out on dates and being with each other. So on February 14th, instead of what you were saying, instead of crowding the expensive restaurants and trying to do the traditional flowers and chocolate, and it's fun to sprinkle that stuff in there too, it just became known as a time our family would be together and spend together. So
that is
kind
really
of a fun
cool.
tradition. Yeah.
I am stealing that tradition.
That is a
there you go.
great
It's all
idea.
about love. These are the people I love.
That's it.
The four of us are doing something.
Yeah. I love that.
Mallory and I will go on a date another night.
There you go. Go on date your wife all the time. Not
Absolutely.
just on one day out of the year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. What's something you asked the question? Is there something different you guys have done or are thinking about doing?
No, we normally are so not into it that we don't even want to go out. We'd rather just be home.
Okay.
And, maybe have a steak dinner or something that the kids are going to be in on. But we've never even thought to go do something fun as a family, and we don't want to do a date night. Every restaurant's packed. It sounds like a hassle to us more than anything. So we normally just have a chill night at home.
Yeah.
And that's how we've always done it.
Nothing wrong with that. I think there is nothing wrong with strategically planned chill nights at home. There are
Yes.
chill nights that happen all the time. Those remember the
That's
whole
the norm.
The normal. And the normal is just fun.
Yeah.
But when there is a strategically planned
Yeah, we're
chill night,
gonna have a good meal. We're gonna play a game.
We've got our movie, our game, or whatever. And
Yeah.
those sometimes are the most, we joke in our house all the time. Like if we're going to sit down, there might be a movie we're watching together or a TV show we're watching together. Our joke is like, we sit down and we all get ready to watch. And then like somebody remembers something of their day. And so we have to hit pause and then, all right, is everybody ready now? Okay. We hit play again. And then somebody else chimes in or pause. And we're always like, man, we are 30 minutes into talking as a family and 60 seconds into our movie or our
That's
TV
so
show. We're
great.
trying, but we look back and we say the same thing. We're like, would we rather have it any other way? I mean, I want to hear everybody's story and what everybody's going through. And somebody brings up a funny memory and then we all are laughing about it. And some of the best, most awesome family experiences are just caught right then when you're just trying to get to the thing you had planned. So I think strategically planned nights for February 14th are great, but it brings up date nights. Those are fun to strategically plan at home as well.
On March the 14th as well.
in April the 14th.
Yeah.
Maybe, what about May the 14th?
That's a good one.
I've never thought about this. What about June 14th?
Almost as good as July 14th. Are we going to do the whole calendar year? Ken's wondering.
What about August 14th?
Gonna keep on trucking.
But of course not September 14th. Or maybe.
So
No, I don't
my
like that one.
takeaway is that celebrate every month and I
14th,
I love the date your wife idea. That's really awesome. To get into the core of it though, if your spouse is really into it, then obviously you need to get creative and be into it as well. But I think there's so much pressure put on that it's not fun. It becomes an obligation.
Yeah.
And when love becomes an obligation, it ceases to be love. It needs to be everything you guys talked about.
And because you're right. But I do feel like sometimes, not just Valentine's Day, as men, as husbands, we should put effort. So
absolutely,
it's almost
initiative.
like there's obligation. We have to do this, But on date nights, let's just talk about those. There should be some initiative taken on our part, not just, oh, where do you want to go now? You know, it's nice. Wives love the effort that goes into it as well. So I think as husbands, it is nice to have.
I love that.
That it is nice to put an effort into it. Like you thought about the place. What if it's not the best restaurant on the planet and it wasn't a good meal? You thought about it. Yeah. And then you take them to the next spot of ice cream. I don't eat ice cream all that much. You put effort into it. It can be, or it could be a gift. You've at least thought about something. And I get the cliche chocolate flowers out to dinner kind of a thing. So it's not just about that. I feel like
I've never had chocolate flowers.
They do make those though. They do make chocolate flowers that you could eat. And if you go to the little like at Kroger or at Publix over there, there's some really neat, the chocolate dipped strawberries. We've brought those into the mix a lot. Those are delicious. But anyway, I digress. I was just thinking about dates in general. And if there's any men out there watching or ladies and you need to pass this podcast along to your men, I think putting an effort out there and putting something that took more than just, I don't know, where do you want to go? And you're in the car driving somewhere. Yeah. But like at least putting some type of thought into the fact of the matter, or buying a gift that meant something. I don't mean expensive, but something to where it took thought.
I thought of you.
Is a good tip for the husbands and the boyfriends and the men out there for sure.
I want to go back to the obligation piece, because I think you can look at obligation in a negative light. You know, it feels obligatory and what a drag. But like, you know, love at its purest form ultimately is sacrificial. Sure. Christ's love for us. And because of, you know, my wife, for example, because of my love for Mallory, out of that love, I'm glad that I am obligated to serve her and to lay down my life for her in ways. So there is an obligation, but I guess it's the lens or the frame through which you look at it through that can make that a positive or a negative. I'm glad and I'm honored that I have an obligation to love my life and love my wife well, not just buying her gifts and having fun with her, but also looking for ways to serve her and doing the hard things for her, like getting up and making a living. I'm serving and loving my family.
Sure, absolutely.
Through all of that. So there is a good obligation.
There's a sacrifice piece
there as well.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of where my mind went.
What I hear from you and you is that the sacrificial initiative is really what I've sensed and what I've heard my wife say is she's tired. She doesn't want to make decisions. She don't want to have to do. Yeah. And I think to just say, hey, we're going out. I've already planned it and you're worth my time.
That's good.
To take initiative and plan and do. Yeah. And I again, my wife's not sentimental. We were on a very tight budget for years with kids. And she emphasized when I say, hey, do you want to go before or after? Or I just made that decision, just going, hey, I want to do Valentine's, but we don't have the 3 times the amount. So why don't we go on this Saturday instead of on Thursday night? And she goes, oh, I love that.
You planned it and put effort into it.
Yeah.
So good job.
And it doesn't have to be dinner. It can be breakfast. It can be driving away to go do something unique or different that we enjoy doing. I think it's like, okay, what does she enjoy? So I want to ask this to just spark some ideas for me. What does Mallory enjoy that wasn't natural for you? Or what does Kirsten enjoy that wasn't natural for you? You just think, I'd like doing that anyway.
Yeah.
I know I'm putting you on the spot, but what is something where she's different than your natural is, but that you still think, that's great. I'll give you one example for you. You've mentioned that Mallory was a dancer. Is that right? Mm-mm. No, that's your kids are in dancing. Okay. But she helps out with that? Nope. Okay. So dancing is out. My memory's totally shot, but your girls dance, right?
My wife
Brent's
works
wife
at a dance
works
studio.
At a dance studio that my kids take classes in.
Yeah.
That's all comes together.
You're probably busy planning a date night while we were talking about that. You know, you were putting effort into your thoughts of what that was. That was awesome.
We need to clip that whole
I really love that. I really love that.
No, but I mean,
remember, your wife is a dancer.
News to me.
That would be his wife and daughter. Are both dancers.
That is hysterical. Okay, so let's dive into that for just a second, because there is a level of the 5 love languages, right?
Right.
And so you have to kind of know your significant other's love language,
right,
in order to find out if it's your love language or if you're going to have to be doing something.
And that changes over time.
It could shift around.
Yeah.
And there's different levels of each one of those love languages, and it's smart to know that. But like, if I know that my wife loves receiving gifts, right? Thought of, and she loves receiving gifts, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to notice that, because she is probably giving gifts, right? So she is giving a gift that means something to you or to her in some way. That means she probably likes to receive those things, not because it's the gift itself, but because you were thinking about her. My wife has let me know that when I come back home, if I were to bring her the nicest brand new Apple Watch or some nerd clusters from Publix, both means that I thought about her on the way there. When I was at Publix picking up whatever, we're out of coffee, but I saw the nerd clusters and I brought that to her. To her, she's like, you thought about me. Now, I'm not saying for Valentine's Day, just get her nerd clusters and not jewelry, and that's what she really loves. I'm just saying it's a lot of times she thinks about somebody, so she wants to give them that. Make sure I'm thinking about her, so I want to give her something.
Yeah, the thought that counts.
So yeah, it truly is the living out the thought that counts. But it's knowing that she would know your love language like you would know hers, and it probably does. Her love language probably doesn't come naturally to you because yours is probably different. So you have to put effort and thought and plans into what she loves to do. Yeah. So I'm going to make sure I do that for her. So
good call.
Yeah. How about you, Logan?
What's the question?
What's something your wife enjoys or appreciates that you can creatively?
I thought that's where we were going, but I wasn't sure.
You were like dancing. I think we have to dance. Do we do dance now? Yeah. I don't know. My wife and I took dance classes.
Honestly, I bet Mallory would enjoy if we randomly did a dance class.
It's a fun thing.
I bet she would enjoy that.
We need to do that.
We would laugh a lot. But Mallory's love language has shifted from quality time, where she doesn't even need us to be having a conversation, which is strange for me. Cause like when the room gets quiet, I'm like, I need to fill the quiet with my voice. I'll just start saying whatever is running through my brain.
Yeah.
She's like, no, just you being here. I'm good.
Which is cool. I mean, your wife likes being just with you in the room,
in my presence, and me in her presence. She's like, that's good enough.
My wife said something just last week. We were driving in the car, and we'll have conversations, or we'll turn to a song, or we'll say, there's stuff that sparks conversation, obviously. But at this moment, we were just driving. And Carson looked, and it was silent for a second. And I'm like you. I want to fill the void of quiet, right?
Yes.
But she noticed that I was just sitting there in silence driving. She was sitting there as the passenger. And she goes, I just love that we love each other so much. We can just sit here and not have to say anything. And there's no problem with that. We know that we're just beside each other. And I'm like, yeah, because I'd want to fill the void. But I was like, just sitting there, I guess, and enjoy it for just a second. And she's like, I love that we can just sit here like this. And it reminded me when you said that just the presence is a gift
present
enough. I know, the present. I tried to use a different word. The presence is a gift enough. And again, none of this is an excuse to not somehow put forth effort on this amazing holiday. Like, hey, honey, they said on the Every Day's a Bonus podcast, I can just sit beside you tonight. And
so that's what we're going to do.
So we're going to sit in silence.
You mind?
That's it. Yeah.
You mind if I scroll my phone while I sit beside you?
I'll turn the volume down.
Hope you feel loved.
Yeah. So it's not. This is not an excuse.
Yeah, not that.
This is just a true love. Doesn't need to perform for the other one.
Well,
true
and Mallory's
love can be in the presence of the other one.
Her love language has shifted. Like, yes, she still appreciates quality time a lot, but that wouldn't be her top one anymore.
What would her top one
be? It has shifted to acts of service.
Ooh.
That is what makes her feel loved the absolute most. So when I can go out of my way or just notice something that maybe needs to get done and just get it done.
Dishes.
She feels so.
If you do the dishes and your wife, and I'm like,
vacuuming,
Brent,
laundry.
it's not that hard. Just do them. And so when
Yeah.
I do, and she feels appreciated, I'm like, oh, that only took me like.
It took me 3 minutes.
Not long at all.
Yeah.
But yet you're right. Acts of service, they feel appreciated that way.
Yes.
So
It's always changing, though.
It is
Now,
always changing.
One quick tip as we wrap up is I had a buddy, he and his wife decided they're not going to go out and do the big meal and all that. They go to either Hallmark or a grocery store that has a card aisle, and they read cards. And they pick out their favorite two, and I would have bought you this one. And just look at it and read it. And like, oh, that's awesome. That is so
That's
me.
a cool
And
idea.
then they
They
put
leave
them
them?
back and they go home. I mean, it's
because
like,
cards are $10 a piece. So for $20, you can go get some pretty good snow
but they
cones
do
and
that, and then they go somewhere very common in order. And like, I think their favorite was like Chick-fil-A. They're like, we're gonna go to Chick-fil-A.
But you can sit out in front of Ruth's Chris and be like, what would you have had there if I took you there? What would you have ordered?
Let's pick up Chick-fil-A and sit in the Ruth's Chris parking lot.
That's right. I would have had a steak. That's actually a fun, clever way, because you're right. Sometimes we don't always have the finances to do the wine and the dining. And so you can think of creative ways like that. Making a gift. I'll be honest out there. We've done that before, made cards or made something. And I'm not as good at making things as Kirsten is. She is so much better. She can needlepoint and she can do all the fancy good things. And I'm just like, I'd be like, I don't know, draw you a picture.
Some crayons.
Here, I'll draw Bill the cat.
I can do a mean stick figure.
She's very creative on that. But sometimes it's just, making something is okay and cool. Sometimes it takes a lot more effort to make a card than it does just to go buy one.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so
yeah.
getting the right card stock and getting your pen and drawing and writing I don't want to give away anything personal in our family. I've always wrote poems for Kirsten, and sometimes they're fun and silly and sometimes they're emotional and heartfelt, but I just always like to make things rhyme and write poems out. And so guess what, how much money that cost? $0. And so a poem written to a wife, folded up and given to her, it could sometimes be the greatest gift. So maybe we're just throwing out gift ideas for them as well.
There you go. My takeaway is basically take initiative and put some effort. And I know our wives and most husbands are just like, you know what? Any effort you put forward to it is there. Yeah. So just a little bit of initiative and effort is going to be great. And that's great in every part of life, especially in relationships. Yeah. Any takeaways for you?
My favorite takeaway is Valentine's doesn't need to be about romance. It's just about loving the people that are in your life.
I love that. Yeah, that's good.
As well.
That's good. Man, love the person you're with, because that's what how God has allowed us to choose that person. Man, like hanging out with them. And so just do some things that make memories that don't always have to cost money, but put some type of effort into it to show your love sometimes. And Valentine's Day, if that's for you, that's your day to do it. But if not, do it every Friday or set aside some time just to make sure they feel loved and appreciated right where they're at.
And share the gospel like Saint Valentine did. There's no way you can love someone better than sharing the gospel.
Well, there you go. Love for all. Yeah. Share the greatest love of all.
Yep.
There it is. And I would just say not only every day needs to be a day that we love and go, but I would say make Valentine's just a bonus. Do something different.
Ooh, a bonus day.
Yeah.
Let's make a podcast and call it that.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day is a bonus.
That's the end of this week. There you go. Thanks for joining us again. Next week will be even better, I promise. For Brent and Kenn and Logan, every day's a bonus. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Comment below with your favorite Valentine's gift after, because we need help.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Every day's a bonus.